What's going on, guys? My name is Fake Thriller, and I'm joined, as always, by Snoop603, and today we're going to give you a bit of our first impressions of Armored Kill. We just got the DLC about 4 hours ago, and we've been playing ever since, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. And we're not going to get into too many details about too many things right now. There's plenty of time to talk about each individual thing, and we'll do that in the future, but first impressions, I can tell you from our point of view, what happened was it was scary at first. I thought we were going to hate it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, my initial knee-jerk reaction was like, what the fuck is this? Fuck this game, I'm done. The real problem with Conquest, and it's not the fact that there's not enough players. There's plenty of players, it's fine. Like, the maps are pretty big, but there's a lack of vehicles. But when you go to play Rush, there's a shit ton of vehicles. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it seems like they've got it kind of backwards with the number of vehicles per game type. Well,
and another thing that I sort of noticed was the maps are huge, and what everybody was afraid of when it comes to console player amounts, it's not as bad as you might think, but we played a couple matches on that night map. You're going to have to forgive me because I don't know all the names yet, but it's the only one at, like, dusk or twilight. And at the end of the game, it was 25 minutes, and at the very end, it felt like a 25-minute match on Operation Firestorm, Conquest. So if you guys know how that map plays, where you don't come into too many infantry fights, you get into if you hoard the vehicles, you'll get into a lot of vehicle alterations. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a score like 9-4 or something like that. You're not going to really be pulling a lot of crazy kills out of Conquest on most of these maps.
Right.
And go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's just, well,
you can't navigate from one flag to another. You're committed, and it's super frustrating because you start running off of D, and you get about a third of the way to C, and you see D start flashing.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's how we started out the night. Was we got stuck on that night map like 3-4 different straight games, I think. We were in one server, we played it, and then we switched sides for whatever reason. Actually, no, I'm sorry, we were playing Conquest. I don't know why, but they wanted to play this one map. So we went to the second server, same map. Went to the third server, it's the same map. And finally, we just said, screw it. We opened up the Shoosty Bang server, and just quick note, Shoosty Bang server is open. It's just set to Rush on the Armored Kill maps. So knock yourselves out. It'll be up for a week. But once we got off that, then things got a little more interesting. You know, the maps got a little bit smaller. With that, we played Rush. So just having it a little more focused, we were able to enjoy the maps for what they were.
Yeah, with
really
Rush,
changed it.
Yeah, with Rush, these maps are all about Rush. It plays perfectly fine. The only thing is, what Snoop mentioned before, is there seems to be a weird abundance of vehicles, and these new tank destroyer vehicles are a force to be reckoned with. And it almost feels like your class choices are no longer the four, like recon, support, engineer, and assault. It's like you have three choices. You can choose engineer, and you run a stinger, a javelin, or an RPG. So you kind of just take your pick, because there's so many vehicles and you need to be effective against them. And even like support, you can't get close enough to these tank destroyers unless they ram it into a building and get wedged, and you get them at the right point. But they're so fast. They're like as fast as an LAV, but they got a damn battle tank cannon on them, and an HMG, I think. So
they're pretty fucking potent.
yeah, and I mean, it's interesting. And the other big thing about tonight's play session was it was a hard pill to swallow, because we're playing on new maps, and now we're dealing with these patch changes at the same time. I know it's not how DICE does things, but it would have been just really nice if we got the patch a month ago, and we could have acclimated ourselves to the patch.
Right, or even a week, or even a day or two, just not the same exact moment.
Yeah, because, you know, everyone's playing, they're uncomfortable with the maps, and then at the same time, you got it in the back of your mind that, oh, maybe they changed this, maybe they changed that. I'm sitting there running around with the 240B trying to figure out what they did to it, because I remember reading a few things, but that's besides the point. For the most part, it's a good upgrade. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the maps sort of play out as favorites when they get mixed into the regular playlists and stuff. But like I said, or like we said, Rush is good, so you guys should be pretty interested to see that.
Yep.
And play that.
Tank superiority, just to dabble in that real quick, it's fun. It's very, very quick. My God, like, if you've got a good team that just knows how to drive a tank really well, maybe doesn't necessarily aim like me, I feel like I can drive him pretty decent. Dude, they were like 3-minute matches almost. I mean, they were just insanely quick. I was like, oh, we're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an interesting game mode too. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. It's kind of weird. It goes against my instincts as a tank driver to bail at the right moment, because if you bail, you really get an idea of the vastness of these maps and how totally fucked you are. Because you've got 6 different tanks rolling around you. It's pointless to bail. You're better off going down with the ship.
Yep, exactly. And other than that, the AC-130, you know, I really talked about the M16A3 in the comments on one of the videos recently about how people thought it needed to be nerfed, which, hey, you're all fucking welcome. You got your wish. It got nerfed. I'm not one for nerfing anything, but or calling things OP, unless it's like glitched, like the USAS-12 frag rounds. Like, that was a problem. That needed to be nerfed. For the most part, I just think leave the game alone, man. Let it do its thing, and if it's something like glaringly, just obscenely overpowered, then let's address it. I feel like the AC-130 is gonna be at that point. And it's because of its respawn time. Like, we were taking that thing down, and dude, these things are fucking brutes. They do not go down easily. Yeah. And by the time we do take it down, you blink and it's back up. You're like, well, what the fuck? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, and granted, we had a skewed point of view because we didn't have a completely full server, but I would say it takes 2 to 3 people, depending on whether or not you have a talented jet pilot going after it at the same time. But that's 2 to 3 people that get removed from your team to address this behemoth that's flying around. And granted, it's not overly powerful in the sense of the weapons or the damage it does. It's what Snoo said, the respawn time. You barely get it out of the sky, and the notifications that it's back in the sky are kind of quiet. You don't necessarily notice it until you just go boom, and you get hit by a giant 105 shell or whatever it fires. And so it'll be interesting to see what they do with the respawn timer on the AC-130. But it is fun. When you're in it, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
So I hope they don't do too much to it. But I think we're going to wrap it up here. This is just supposed to be a first thoughts kind of a thing. Get some info out to you guys and let you know what we think of it. For those of you on the edge of picking it up or not,
wait a day or two. We'll give you a better review. Like, right now, me personally, I'm kind of on the fence, but just leaning, like, I'm like 55-45 leaning in favor of the DLC. Because I see the potential, but, you know, one of the maps I'm not at all thrilled with. But I've only played it on Conquest, so I don't know how it plays out on Rush, and that's that, you know, quote-unquote night map. As the week goes on, you know, I'm thinking tomorrow we'll probably have that team live com. We had a really, really good game playing Rush earlier. And then later on in the week, we'll definitely go far more far more in depth on the different game modes and different maps, and hopefully by the weekend we'll give you guys a really comprehensive overview of what we feel this DLC is all about, how good it is it worth your money and your time.
Right. All right, guys. So thanks for watching. Leave any comments or questions about the DLC down in the comment section below, and we'll do our best to follow up with you guys a little bit later. So don't forget, Snoo said the Shoosty Bang server is open for Armored Kill Rush for the next week.
Yep.
So
make sure you just search Shoosty Bang, add it to your favorites, it'll be in there.
Yep. All right, guys. So thanks for watching the video, and we'll catch you on the flip side.